Okay, well, welcome everybody to our next bite-sized broadcast. So today we are going to be discussing Made Smarter, supporting SME manufacturers in the Northwest. My name's Lucy Rue. I'm the Comms and Marketing Manager for Made Smarter UK. So today we're going to be talking to three of our Made Smarter Adoption Award winners, which is really exciting. And we're going to find out a bit more about what it's like to be part of the Made Smarter programme here in the Northwest. So just as a quick recap then, what is Made Smarter? So we are a government-funded programme and we're aimed at SME manufacturers from across the Northwest, and we help them to adopt industrial digital technologies. So we'll find out a bit more about what all that means in a second when we talk to our lovely clients. So today, the good news is we're joined by a range of clients from across the manufacturing spectrum in the Northwest. So we've got a little bit of everything. So shall we start by getting some introductions? Tom, would you like to go first?
Yeah, no worries. Thanks, Lucy. My name's Tom Fletcher. I'm the Managing Director at First Play Dietary Foods. We manufacture foods for special medical purposes for a range of inborn errors of metabolism, which roughly affect about 1 in 10,000 people. And we make a really wide variety of food products from fresh bread to dried pasta and meat substitutes.
Fantastic. Thank you, Tom. And Paul, would you like to introduce yourself next?
Okay, thanks, Lucy. My name is Paul Dodd. I'm the Managing Director of a company called Weaver Day Limited. We specialise in the design and manufacture of basically residential furniture such as kitchens, bedrooms, home offices and bathrooms of late as well. So we produce kind of not off-the-shelf products but bespoke machines products really for the home.
Fantastic. And Liz, last but not least.
Okay, so we are a fuel retailer. So we sell solid fuels, so predominantly logs and coal, kindling, charcoal, etc. That sort of products. We supply the whole country, so we supply nationwide. Basis is in North Lancashire, and we've been trading. We've just had our 20th birthday, so we've been trading for 20 years.
Fantastic. I love your setting as well, Liz. It's very on brand for Logs Direct. I'm a bit jealous.
We have a bit of a tidy up. So yeah, I've got nice shelves showing our branding behind us. This is our hot seat for Teams and Zooms, etc.
Oh, good work. Yeah, it's very organised. Okay, fantastic. Well, thank you guys for introducing yourselves. So today then, just to set the scene about what our session is going to be about, it's going to be all about Made Smarter in the Northwest and how the programme has helped you guys, and a bit more about what we actually did together, because obviously we've collaborated on grant funding and also our digital skills and leadership courses. So it might be a good place to start then, just if each of you could kind of go through a quick 5 minutes on your business, tell us about how you came across Made Smarter, what the actual project was that we helped to fund, and some of the skills and leadership training that you've had as well. So we can stick with the same order if we like to keep things easy. So Tom, would you want to kick us off there?
Yeah, no problem. So our collaboration with Made Smarter really came from a wider collaboration with the growth company as a whole. And the project that we got some grant funding for was a packing solution. So we started in 1993. So we've grown very, very steadily for a long period of time. And the business started as a lifestyle business really for my parents, and we've slowly developed into an SME. But since 2021, a lot of opportunities presented themselves in the market where we were able to expand, but we needed to put things in place to be able to achieve that. And a real bottleneck for us was our packing line. We were packing everything by hand in the same way that you'd maybe see the sweets getting packed in a sweet shop. And we were talking roughly, take a bag of pasta, for example, 2 or 3 bags a minute by hand. And we knew that we couldn't sustain growth with this model in that department. So we got a visit from your colleagues Ruth and Will, and we had a bit of an audit for the whole business, but that was a real bottleneck that was identified, and we were able to work on a solution to essentially create a packaging solution for all our solid products and all our powder products within the same process. And it's taken us from, like I said before, 2 or 3 bags a minute to 20, 25 bags a minute. So it's drastically changed the sort of landscape of what's capable for our business, and to the point where now that's the most efficient part of the process in which we make products. So every other process is in the process of now having to be brought up to match that. So it's been a really exciting journey from being extremely manual to now much more automated. And these are the sort of machines that you would see in Kellogg's and McVitie's. And it's really, I'm really proud to have been able to bring that into the business and bring us up to this new standard. But as well as obviously the grant funding, we've done quite a few training courses with you. I've done a course called Leading Digital Transformation, which was brilliant, and it really helped me, particularly being in a family business, and my parents ran the business for a certain way for 25, 27 years. Obviously, when I came in with a few new ideas, it was quite challenging, and to put those ideas across and how they were landing. So I think any family business is challenging, but I think particularly my family is important.
Should appreciate that, Tom.
They're not too tech savvy, so I don't think they'll see this.
Oh, good.
So I can say that. But we, we've gone from that really helped me to the point where when I reflected on that course, I looked back and thought, I wish I would have known that 2 years ago or 3 years ago, it would have saved an awful lot of arguments. So that was absolutely brilliant, and it wasn't solely focused on digital transformation. It was transformation of your business altogether. With obviously some focus, majority focus on digital and tech. One of the other things that came about because of the audit was a real manual process that we were doing with our order processing, and separately from the grant, that was identified, and we were able to put in some software which is saving us about 350 hours a year, we think, which is taken from manually accepting an order via email and typing it into our account software to bringing in a third-party software to sit between the emails and our account software, which essentially reads the emails, takes the content out of that email and drops it into our account software.
Yeah, so it's like RPA, isn't it? I think.
Yeah.
It's quite good. It's quite good that you've adapted both of those technologies, because I think it kind of shows the breadth of what Made Smarter can help with. So when we're talking about helping businesses to digitalize and that sort of thing, it's not just physical machinery, although we can help with that, which is one of the examples you gave. But again, it's software automation. So there's a whole gambit, isn't there, of different types of technology which businesses like yourselves might not be aware of. And the landscape changes all the time. So, you're busy running a business. I know what that can be like. And just trying to get through the day-to-day is hard enough sometimes, as well as trying to plan for the future. So they're really good examples. Thank you, Tom. And then should we move on to Weaver Dane then? So Paul, when did you kind of come across Made Smarter, and how did that journey look for you guys?
I was asked this, I think, at the awards, and I had to go back and look myself. We started, I'd say it's about 5 years ago at the very start, purely just an introduction, and that's how I met Ian Marshall at the time. So the kind of knowing about the organisation started 5 years ago.
Okay.
So we were kind of been on a journey, off a journey, on a journey, because Weaver Dane is around about 6 years old. So I have another business as well, which is kind of shop fitting, but the Weaver Dane side of the business was fairly new to us. So that business in itself was kind of going through the growing pains of growth, which, my background wasn't kitchens and bedrooms. I was more on the commercial side of the business. So we tried to, the growth happened fairly quickly and organically, but we went on the digitalisation course as well in Birchwood with Anne, and that really, I say, like Tom said, I think if it happened 2 years prior, it would have helped.
Yeah.
Because I think when you're running your own business, you're on the day-to-day doing of things as well. And so I used that as a kind of little breakout for myself, but also stepping back and realising that, right, hang on, there's a lot of really good information here that anything, from Anne's 2x2 board that we now have dotted around the place, a very simple procedure that we use to quickly identify anything that needs doing. So our journey's been, a really good one from the digitalisation course that we attended. A lot was gained from that. But also, we did the grant as well.
Yeah.
Which, in fairness, when we started that, we didn't realise the impact it kind of would have. It kind of catapulted us forward. I think probably a year ahead of where we'd even start to think about that growth. And even in a year, we still might not have thought about the growth properly. But what it's done is actually now kind of forced our hand on a lot of decisions.
Mm-hmm.
So, like as of today, we're opening our second showroom in another town, which has created employment. We're looking at new machinery investment. We're looking at a new location as well for the business, and it's all coming at once. But it's been, I think, the Made Smart has been a catalyst of all those decisions, and it's made us have like a plan effectively for the first time, really, I'd say, in a good few years. To, I think that started with the roadmap. The question of where do you want to be, what do you want to do, and just take each year by the scruff of the neck, effectively. Because I think when we started this, the plan was to have 5 retail outlets in 5 years. When we started, we thought that's never going to happen because the business kind of grew. So Made Smarter made us step back a little bit and plan it, and now it's kind of that side's going forward.
Okay, and so what was the grant actually used for then? Was it for machinery? What was the project that you worked on?
So our grant was for basically it's a piece of software called IMOS IX, and so if I explain what a typical kitchen business, usually I'd say 95% of those companies buy in everything from a mass distributor. Mm-hmm. So very high churn through, not great quality in fairness. So because we're actually a manufacturer, so we make our own products bespokely as well. This software allowed us to design the products in a new way. Okay. We were quite technical before as well, but this was a brand new way of using this new piece of software. And what it enables you to do is to go from the visual that the customer would see, but within that visual, it's got all our manufacturing data. So it goes literally straight from screen to machine, so an Industry 4 perspective, really. So it will do all our nesting of the boards. It will actually export all the files out for us to put into our MRP system. And even on a simple project, the closest we can get to working out is about 10 hours saving on every project.
Right, okay.
And that can be, yeah, it's, the numbers kind of make sense, but the streamline organisation it sets us up for the growth effectively. It's good, gives us a good underpinning. But again, there's only about 50 companies in the UK and Ireland that have this software. It's quite a specialist piece of software, but it enables us to go from, say, screen to machine really, really quickly.
Okay, fantastic.
Less errors and increased capacity as well.
Yeah, that's really good. Thank you. Thanks for sharing that. And I think one of the things that you said, which I found really interesting there, is actually the skills and leadership side of things actually gave you that headspace out of the business, out of the day-to-day, to actually take stock a little bit and maybe think a little bit more strategically, and also just to give you that breathing space to think, right, what technology do we want to adapt, and do we have the skills in place? I think a lot of the times our advisors will feed back to us that it's not just putting a new piece of technology in place, because if the skills aren't there and the leadership isn't there in the business, it'll probably just be left in a corner after a while. It's about a whole mindset change, isn't it, within a business?
And I met Liz there as well, so
yeah. Well, there you go. Absolute winner. Fantastic. Oh, thank you, Paul. And yeah, the same to you, really, Liz, about Logs Direct. So tell us, similarly, the projects that you worked on with Made Smarter, and maybe some of the impacts that it's had.
Okay, so I probably start by agreeing with Paul. Actually, the course that we went on together, the biggest benefit by far was the time out of the business. It was time just to step back. Right, where are we really? Where do we really want to be, and how are we going to bridge the gap, and what technology we can implement to help bridge the gap, what cost savings, etc. And just talk to other like-minded businesses as well, and other business owners, because sometimes it can be quite lonely at the top of a business when you're juggling everything and everyone, and you're going from 1 minute, in my case, sometimes literally packing logs, to running the finances, to dealing with a HR issue, and you don't get time to just stop and think about actually running the business forward and driving it forward, and that gets lost in the day-to-day. So yes, I would massively agree with Paul that was the biggest thing, just having time to stop and think. And then obviously you thought about what you want to do and where you want to go, and the help and the guidance to get from A to B. So yeah, that was the course was just brilliant for that. And I'm sort of sat here thinking, have I gone back into my old ways a bit? Do I need to spend a bit more time doing it again? That's probably yes. So yeah, that's sort of maybe an agenda point for me for going forward. So as I said before, Logs Direct, basically we buy in 3, 5, 6 metre bars of timber, and we chop them into various sizes depending on customer demand. We're getting more demand for more niche products, so smaller logs, bigger logs, and then obviously standard logs as well, but either end of the scale is growing. We had new legislation about 2 years ago within the industry that all the wood we sell has to be of a certain moisture content for the Green Air Act, which we wholly agree with because we were doing it beforehand, but it's just meant that everything's tightened up and other suppliers are coming to us to buy from us for us to sell on, for them to sell on. So we had kilns, etc. installed, but we were concerned that some of the kilns weren't running as efficiently as they could be. And if your drying time is 15 days and you can get your drying time down to 5 days, you've all of a sudden increased your drying capacity 3 times over. So that's basically what this Made Smarter grant did, was help us improve the efficiency of the kiln. So it's a bit like baking a cake. Different ovens run at different temperatures. So one of them might take 18 minutes, one might take 22. Should take 20, but it doesn't always work like that. The wood can be wetter when it goes in, depending on the species, how long it's been down, etc. So we had a grant made the grant was to make basically a brain for the kiln to tell us when it's ready, how long this will take, etc., and give us readouts that we can then use going forward to predict how long drying times will be for species dependent, etc.
Right, okay.
So yeah, that's what our grant did.
Okay, fantastic. That's really interesting. I've never thought about logs as much as I have in the last 5 minutes. To be honest with you, I'm like 15 days. My word.
It didn't take 15 days. It now takes about 5, which is
oh, good. I'd be there with a hairdryer. This is why I'm a manufacturer.
It is basically just a big hairdryer. It's a big building with fans in it, and it's basically a big hairdryer.
And just out of curiosity, then, the logs. So, are you supplying them into trade? What are they used for?
Yeah, we're supplying to supermarkets. We do your corner shop. We do deliveries in your bags or your crates to your home. We literally supply, and then we do restaurants as well. We do quite a lot of wood-fired restaurants.
Okay.
They're a little bit more niche. They require a specific type of log for their pizza ovens. But yeah, so literally from big supermarkets right down to Mrs. Smith on the corner of the corner.
Right. Okay, that's fascinating. It's interesting to hear about everyone's businesses as well. To be honest, I don't get to speak to you guys very often in marketing, so no, it's good to hear what everyone's up to. Okay, well that's really fantastic in terms of finding out about the projects that we've helped to fund and a bit more about that skills and leadership piece. But I was thinking maybe for the next 5-10 minutes we could talk about some of the challenges then, because I think you've all kind of alluded to the fact that there are common challenges for manufacturers of your size, which will be the same across the UK. But I'm thinking maybe we could start on talking a bit about the challenges around being a sort of second generation business. Because like we said before, it's kind of about that mindset change, isn't it? And maybe introducing new ideas when a lot of the feedback we get from advisors when they go into second, third generation businesses is there's a little bit of tension there between this is what we've done and it's always worked and we've built a successful business. And then maybe second, third generations like, yeah, that's great. And we really see the value of what you've done, but also where's the future? And we need to bring technology into that really to stay competitive. So how was that kind of been, that juggling act?
I think that's a really good way to describe it, really, juggling act. It is very much a mindset change as well. I think that, just as you said, we still do some processes in our business that are the same as they were 30 years ago, and there's always ways to improve, and there's new technology that's developing all the time, and as a business leader you need to be firstly aware, and then to be able to bring this into your business and make the most of what's available. And I think that's the benefit that businesses get with a link with Made Smarter, because I'm not from an IT or tech sort of background, and the audit, like I said before, the detail of what was discussed in that audit really opened my eyes to the possibilities of what's available. So I think the mindset as well for us from the training courses that we've done, from the digital transformation course, has been really instrumental into what we're doing, and the mindset not only is with me, but I've had to learn to work, with my parents to try and keep them involved in change and to bring them on board as early as possible during change, but also on the other side of it as well. So my colleague Faye, who runs our operations department, I've needed to bring her on board really early with any change, and she's needed to bring her team on board, just to help manage that change, so the ripple effect goes all the way through the business. But yeah, I think that a lot of it comes back to mindset, I think, and it's a real skill having not only having the vision, but bringing the people you need to bring on that journey with you. And that's certainly something that I've developed somewhat, I think, in the last couple of years, and certainly since we've been collaborating with Made Smarter. That was big. The Leading Digital Transformation course was a massive push for me in that direction.
Yeah, well, I think that's a good way of putting it as well, is bringing people with you, isn't it, on that journey? And just thinking about it, then it probably is something that applies not even just to family businesses, but thinking, Paul, Liz, have you experienced any sort of resistance to change as well when you're kind of bringing in new technology, and with the guys that are working for you who are actually on the production line or who are at the sort of coalface, so to speak, trying to get them to see the value and to buy into the value of doing things differently?
Yeah, I think massively. So you have people who have been in the business longer than others. So I think once, sometimes even if you move the coffee machine, some people go, oh, it's been, and I say, I understand from Tom, because my dad works within my business, and yeah, to try and get him to, change is very hard. But also, other staff where you have a vision set out and you can see the long-term benefits. So when we introduced our new software, I've got staff going, oh, this is it's taking too long. And I'm going, yes, but it's going to give us this, this, and this when the guys are trained to do that. So bear with it. and now it's just starting to, bear fruit. That, and it happened again on Friday. We were putting some new procedures in place for the software again, and even on Friday, it was like, how am I going to find time to do this? And we're trying to explain to them, you do it once within the template, and then it makes your job easier on every single project. So I think there's always going to be resistance every day in your business, regardless of what you're doing. But I think, as I say, like Tom said, the course allows you to step back and just evaluate and try and understand, the perspective from other people as well. So you might have great ideas, but you need to try and see it from the lad on the production line. If he hasn't got the information, or he's not got access, or he doesn't know, then you have to solve those issues to get buy-in as well.
Yeah, definitely. And I think that's probably one of the challenges, isn't it? Is taking that long-term view and having to grit your teeth a little bit when through the teething problems. But then also, I know from personal experience, I've been in businesses where I've tried to enact a change, and also you want to listen to people who've at the coalface as well, and you want to take their opinion forward, because they usually know day to day how it runs better than anyone. So it's a bit of a, again, balancing act, isn't it? As in bringing in new technology that's going to help them over time, but also making them feel part of the process, and that it's not just, right, we're doing this now and you do it that way, and that's the only thing that we're doing, because it's a mindset. Again, it comes back to mindset, isn't it? And bringing people on that journey. So it sounds like you're navigating that really well, to be fair, Paul.
Yeah, I think it's a long journey, but yeah, we can see the light.
The light. It'll be worth it, Paul. And the other thing I wanted to ask about quickly then, Liz, is kind of access to finance, because, SMEs, I suppose one thing is finding that headspace again to try and navigate that landscape of access to finance for smaller businesses. But then also it can be quite complicated, isn't it? Sometimes you need access to finance for your next phase of your growth journey, but how do you know where to go? And, do you go through the traditional lenders? I suppose the one good thing there's many good things about Made Smarter, but one of the key things is that it's fully funded. So we're government funded, but how have you found sort of
finance is difficult. Traditional banks are just you used to have a relationship with a bank manager. You don't have a relationship with a bank manager anymore. I mean, ours had changed. We didn't even know. So that's the sort of where we sit. We ended up on a few occasions we've got a relationship with a broker, and that has worked really well. To be fair, we can go to him, but again, it's not straightforward. It's a lot of hard work to put the paperwork in place. The cash flows, the management accounts, bank statements, etc., 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 and all the current agreements you've got to send them all off. So there is a great deal of work, and sometimes you do feel like you're jumping through a hoop forwards and then backwards and then upside down to get them what they need, to get them in the correct format that they want to see it. And also, it's quite daunting letting an external party see your financial situation. You're sharing everything, because you have to share everything to be able to get the next level of growth. And the justification. So, for example, ours was really straightforward. We're paying for external drying. So if we can cut our drying time down by 2/3, then we won't need external drying. So it was quite straightforward. But even though it was straightforward, and actually from a cash flow point of view, it made so much sense to do, you still had to jump through hoops to be able to get the finance in place.
Yeah. And what was the process like with Made Smarter then? I guess this is to all of you in terms of how long it took to get that finance that you needed and the actual process. Would you say it was easier than traditional lenders?
Am I going first on that one?
Yeah, go for it. Anyone?
I can't honestly 100% remember now, but yeah, I think it was more straightforward. I think it was, you weren't having to go into as much in-depth detail, as long as like when Sarah came to look round, she understood what we're trying to do. So she came and she looked at the business and saw the business and understand, right, okay, I get what you're trying to do and where you're going. Yeah, and she could see the actual benefits. So that made it a lot easier to have somebody on your side to help you through the process.
Yeah, and I think that's maybe one of the benefits as well with Made Smarter is that collaborative approach. So each of you have mentioned by name the technical advisor that's kind of assigned to you, and so they're on your side really, aren't they? And just for our viewers, in terms of the process, obviously we'll go into a business, we'll do this digital transformation roadmap, which the guys have mentioned, and then if we can see a project that fits our criteria and that we think is worth funding, then the technical advisor, along with the business, will come up with basically a bit of a panel presentation, and then it goes to our Made Smarter panel and they approve it. So there is approval processes. It's not just that we'll hand out dosh everywhere, but hopefully it is a bit more logical and a bit quicker than traditional finance. And also you have that person, you have that key contact who is, like we said, on your side and can help represent you in terms of getting that funding. So, okay, well, I think we'll move on then quickly because we have mentioned some of the challenges, which is fine. And I think it's important, it is a difficult thing to run your own business. And I think there's a lot of common challenges in manufacturing. But let's take it back to the fact that all three of you are winners in the sense that you've each won one of our Made Smarter Adoption Awards. And so you're clearly very good examples of businesses and projects that are working really well and that we're really proud to have worked with as well. So we do have a bit of a video montage to show, which I'm hoping will appear in a second, which is just a bit of a reminder of what happened at our Made Smarter Awards a couple of weeks ago. So let's see if this comes up.
So I'm here at the Made Smarter Awards, which is an amazing night. It's been an amazing opportunity for us to recognise and understand more about great things that these businesses are achieving, supported by Made Smarter and the programme.
Made Smarter in the Northwest has now been running for 5 years, and tonight we're celebrating with our inaugural awards those companies who've actually taken that first step on their adoption journey to use technology to help them improve productivity and grow their businesses.
I'm really thrilled to have won the Made Smarter Award this evening for the Liverpool region. An absolute honour. Spice Kitchen's been working with Made Smarter for over 1.5 years. We've been delighted to work with the team to understand really what we require from a technology perspective.
So we're very proud to have won the award for Lancashire for Made Smarter Awards for our involvement in new technology, and also Made Smarter will also help us with a grant towards new technology. It's a massive journey when you begin to think about needing new equipment, where you're going to get the money from, where you're going to, do you need the equipment? And that advice came from Made Smarter. We found them incredibly, not only encouraging, but also helping you to make the right decisions.
Tonight we've won the award for the Cheshire and Warrington Made Smarter Awards. Our journey started about 5 years ago, but then really ramped up in the past couple of years. We've kind of embraced Made Smarter, not only through the grants, but also through the digitalisation courses. We've kind of embraced the whole journey, which has been really enjoyable to be on.
Tonight we have won the Made Smarter Adoption Award for Cumbria. The funding we got from Made Smarter for a specific project has helped our technology improve, helped our productivity improve. We are a global exporter, and these kind of initiatives often is the difference between us adopting new technology sooner than later.
I'm really pleased tonight. We are winners of the overall winner and the Great Manchester winner. My experience with Made Smarter has been absolutely transformational for myself and my personal development and the development of our company. We've been on an incredible journey, and it's revolutionised the way that we do business at First Play True Foods.
There we go, a bit of a recap. Did you see yourself all dolled up there, Paul? It's the first time we've shown you it.
My wife will be mortified seeing herself on the video.
Oh, don't worry. We've already had requests from Made Smarter people to be like, I'm not looking at the camera. But it was a really great night. And, well done to all of you for winning an award. Obviously, each region that you're in, and there's 2 award winners that couldn't make the recording today, which was Spice Kitchen, who won in the Liverpool City region, and McMahon Engineering, who were in Cumbria. But just for kind of closing out then for this session, what was it kind of like? I know, Tom, you were able to be at the awards, but obviously Faye was on there, who was your colleague that you mentioned earlier. Liz, did you make it to the awards?
I didn't. I had to send Stephen in our place. Something had come up last minute from my daughter, and I was like, oh, one of those decisions. Oh, which one do I do? So Stephen came. Steve went instead of us, but we're both directors. So he said it was a really good night. I think he's wholly surprised to have won, but thrilled to have won at the same time.
Yeah, and I think it was also, as well as winning the award, it was just a nice chance for everyone to kind of celebrate the manufacturing industry. Obviously, we partnered with Insider on their Made in the Northwest Awards. And hopefully it was good for a bit of networking as well, because even on the table that I was hosting, there was a couple of chaps talking about business challenges again, and it was quite interesting to overhear. So it's probably nice, similarly, like when you're on the digital training courses, to just be around other manufacturers who may be experiencing the same sort of pain points and successes. I mean, Paul, how did you find the night? Not to put you on the spot, but
it was a really, really nice evening. It's like everything from the food, the entertainment, the comedian. We also got to obviously meet some great businesses as well on our table, and a few of the. I think the only downside, I had to follow Stephen for my little video speech, and his was really good. But yeah, we got to meet a few people that we already knew there, and we've already connected to people again that were saying, I know, definitely on our table, and there's some synergy that we could do business together in future.
Yeah, fantastic. Well, that's really good to hear. And maybe to finish off then, Tom, obviously First Play Dietary Foods were the overall winner for the Northwest. And I know that you've just pitched for the finals yesterday. How are you feeling about that and the prospect of being the overall Made Smarter winner?
Just really proud, really, and proud of the business, but particularly proud of my colleagues, because I think it's easy for me to come into the business and say, I think we should do this, or I want to do this, or this opportunity is here. But for my colleagues to have been all the way through the business, to have been so bought into what we're trying to achieve, and to be really selfless in that as well, that there are going to be pain points, and we're moving from different processes and we're trying new things, but I'm really proud of what their mindset change, and it's created a really good place for us to be. And really it's a bit of a shit. Really, it's a shame that I wasn't there, because the video looks fantastic, and I was on holiday, but obviously Faye's done such a good job of representing the business. And Liz touched on it before, that we, as business leaders, it can be a really lonely place to be, and having the recognition from Made Smart is really, it's really nice to have that, because you don't often get it as leaders. We're always pushing, or I'm certainly always pushing praise and celebrating wins throughout the business, but you can often forget to celebrate your own wins. So it's really nice to have that recognition from you guys, and yeah, thank you.
Oh, fantastic. Well, that's really good to hear. And good luck with the finals. I'm not privy to who the overall winner is, which is probably a good thing, because I'm not very good at keeping secrets. But fingers crossed for you that you'll come through for the Northwest, and hopefully we'll see you in Liverpool at the finals.
Yeah, me and Faye will be there.
Yeah, perfect. Okay, fantastic. Well, I guess the closing comments then, just to all of you, kind of what would you say to a manufacturer who may be watching this, someone who's in a similar position to yourself before you came on the Made Smarter kind of programs, and is thinking of getting involved? I mean, you've already mentioned the kind of transformational change it's had, that you'd wished you'd maybe found out about it a bit sooner, but what would you say to anyone who was kind of watching this and thinking it's something that they should maybe look into? I don't know, Liz, if you want to kick off on that.
I would say definitely do it. Step outside your comfort zone, because it's so easy to stay in your comfort zone in your business. But step outside your comfort zone, and then it'll give you better direction to drive forward to the next stage, whatever that may be.
Fantastic. And Paul, any final comments from you?
Yeah, I'd say again, likewise, 100%, get on board, because you get to meet some really good mentors and some like-minded business people that you just learn. You learn their journey as well, which is, I guess, one of the main ways to actually, learn for yourself in your business.
Fantastic. And Tom, anything else from you?
Just in terms of anyone who's thinking about getting in touch, just to do it. It's a very small amount of effort to get in touch, and it could massively change the landscape of your business.
Fantastic. Well, thank you very much. That's really kind of all of you. And just as a bit of a recap for anyone watching then, if you're interested in Made Smarter or would like to find out more, then you can register your interest at the website. So if you go onto the Made Smarter website, there's a way of registering. And here we are. We have some eligibility criteria that we do need people to hit. So obviously you need to be a manufacturing business with the turnover of less than 36 million, less than 250 employees, and to be applicable for the Northwest region, then you need to have a manufacturing base in the Northwest. But, you know, even if you're not too sure or if you're interested, make sure to get in touch and one of our team will come back to you. And also, please follow us on social media and keep checking on what we're doing, and we're always getting out and about and hopefully bringing on more manufacturers that we can help throughout the region. So yeah, the only thing really to say is thank you to you guys for coming on and making time to come and speak to me today. That was fantastic. It's lovely to see you all again. And yeah, thank you for your time. We'll be doing another bite-sized broadcast in July, which will be around decarbonisation. So keep an eye out for that as well. But yeah, thank you for your time, guys.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Good luck, Tom.
Again. Cheers. Thank you.
Yeah. See you soon, Liz.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.